Good evening, all students. I'm Louisa, the Registrar of the Hong Kong Institute of Chartered Secretaries. Welcome you to join this fifth sessions of the student gatherings. In March and April, we already have organized 4 student gatherings to update the new CGQP syllabuses and all about the learning. And so today, as we have quite a number of new students joining the Institute in the past 2 months. So we would like to take this opportunity to provide the update of the Chartered Governance Qualifying Program to the new students, as well as refreshments to some of our current students who may have joined the previous gatherings. So today, before we start, I would like to take a few household rules. If you have questions, because we have quite a number of students joining and the time limits, so please send your questions to the Q&A sections, and then I will try to answer your questions as much as possible after the presentation. And if I cannot answer all of them, then we will send the replies to you after this section. And we have now over 100 students joining us. And I would like to know some of the students' background. So I have polling questions for you to answer. So we'll take 20 minutes for you to answer. So we will see the polling questions now. So the first is that, are you a new registered student in 2020? That is, okay, I saw quite a number of replies. And that, have you enrolled the November examinations? And I would like to know where's your location, because we have some students living somewhere in Hong Kong, mainland, Taiwan, Macau. Okay, then we have 30 minutes. So that's all for your answers. Let's see the polling answers. So we have a large majority of students who are registered in this year. And that quite a number of them, over almost like 60%, has enrolled the November due to exams. And then also we have students from Hong Kong mainland, mostly from Hong Kong mainland, and then there's another other places. Okay, with all these, then I think tonight the presentation will be very useful to for you to prepare and to know more how you may prepare for your November examinations and future. Okay, so let's start what we are going to do. Remember, we are a chartered governance professional body, and this is what we are going to do. I will take a longer time for an update on the Chartered Governance Program, including syllabus, including about some key points of the examinations. Indeed, all these are available in our website. And then I will share with you, we have undertook a survey, and then for the precautionary measures of the COVID-19. And then I would like to share with you what kind of learning resources and support we provide to our students. And as our students, you may want to know what are the forthcoming activities and that what can be done. And the final part is the Q&A. So with the Q&A, so please, while I'm doing the sharing, you feel free to type in your questions and then we'll try to answer. So about the update of the CGQP. So most of you will aware that this is the Chartered Governance Qualifying Program as the one of the first criteria for you to become our members as Chartered Secretaries and Chartered Governance Professionals. So this program was effective on the 1st of January 2020, a very new one. And then its structure and with this, it composed of 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. And our CGQP require our students to take 7 subjects, and which we have some subjects which have been as core in our previous international qualifying scheme, such as the corporate governance, corporate secretaryship, but we add compliance in it, and then also the Hong Kong company law. And then we have like a combinations of subjects is the financial accounting and the financial management, which we now call the interpreting financial and accounting information. As for part 2, we have the strategic management, and with the 2 new subjects, the risk management and boardroom dynamics. And we put the Hong Kong taxation into part 2. That means that we will maintain as is core subjects, but you can select between boardroom dynamics and Hong Kong taxation. So for this, we already said that for part 1, these modules aims for students to build up your technical knowledge in governance, law, finance, and compliance. And for part 2, which with those two electives, it seeks to enhance our students to comprehensively with understanding of risk strategy, boardroom dynamics, or the taxation. And for these subjects, you can refer to our website. I will show a lot of these website materials. Always go to the studentship section, and on this left-hand side, all the key areas are there. So we have all these part 1 syllabus, as well as the part 2 syllabus. And for the CGQP examinations, quite a number of students ask about, oh, what is, how is cover, and that where can I do it? So I'll just refer you, read our syllabus, because for this CGQP, we have put in very detailed elements of each of the syllabus with the sections and the learning outcome. And so with the examination papers of each of the subjects, it covers all the sections of the content in the syllabus and with a balanced coverage. So you need to know about the syllabus. And then we have alignment with a free of charge online study materials for you to refer to. So when you look into this, you understand your syllabus coverage, and then you refer to and then follow the online study materials, then it will be good enough for you to prepare for your examinations. However, I would also like to advise you to have a wider reading, because with all the rules and regulations and also the best practice from the international perspective, then you may need to have a wider reading for comprehensive knowledge of the like the statute laws, the listing rules, and so on and so forth. And that you may also have to prepare yourselves for answers, preparing to the scenarios included in the questions. And then you need to demonstrate your critical thinking, because this is a professional examinations, and it's not just to a rare replica of memorizing the law statutes, and then you just put in your answer. We need you to think, analyze, and critically. And then you need also, as I mentioned, because this is a professional body, we need our students to be current. So you need to update yourself of the new legislations or rules or codes and regulations. And all these we will set for for the exemption questions once it has been effective and acted, and then we will we may, of course we don't know because it will be set by the examiners, then we may set into the questions 6 months after it's become effective. So this is important. And then from time to time, if there are any update, we will inform you formally through the email, and then we'll post onto the website. So make sure that you always read our website of the students page. So when we comes to the examination structure and format, for part 1, as I've mentioned, we have 4 subjects. And there are 3 modules, and now we call the modules, not the subjects. For 3 modules, including corporate governance, Hong Kong company law, corporate secretaryship and compliance. All our examinations are written examination in 3 hours, and we will give you 15 minutes reading before the examination starts. And then it gives a total marks of 100. For these 3 subjects in part 1, we divide into 2 sessions. The session A is composing of 5 short questions, and each question carries 5 marks with a total of 25 marks. And for session B is composed of, you have to choose 3 out of 4, and each questions will have 25 marks questions. So, and that it will have a mixture of scenario-based and non-scenario-based questions. But some of the students will be aware if in the old IQS system, we have section A with long questions, a long case. But this time, it will be break into 3 short questions with scenario-based questions, maybe. And that I just noted that there is an inquiry asking whether there will be a case list providing to students. And I have to inform you very formally that there will be no case list for this company law subjects, because our examination questions are joining with other, it's a joint examination with other international divisions like the UK, Singapore, Malaysia, and Canada, as well as Hong Kong. So there will be no case list for you. And so this is just to recap. I would like to remind you of the section B, that there will be discussions of the syllabus knowledge. And some students may say, oh, do I have to remember every statute or the name of the case or even the years? We understand that this is in an examination environment. You don't need to repeat word by word, but you can write with your understanding, and that will be helpful for your answer. And there's another, the 4th paper in part 1 is the interpreting financial and accounting information. Also, it's a 3 hours examinations with 15 minutes reading time. As I've said before, this is a combination of 2 subject matters, but we don't need you to do all the calculations. Please refer to the study materials, and then with all types of those practices in the study materials, it will be helpful for you to complete the examinations. And then this will be split into 3 parts, sections, with section A still maintaining 5 questions each, carry 5 marks, and that the section B is a compulsory question you must answer, so including section A is a must, and then with 25 marks. And then for section C, you will select 2 out of 3 with 25 mark questions. And if you want to know, how it will be examined, please refer to our pilot paper. And then later, when we have finished the enrollment time, we will send a guidelines on this interpreting financial and accounting information, because the examinations would not like the previous IQS. You have to do the consolidation type of financial accounts types of questions, but you still need to do some calculations. All these calculations you can refer to the study text, the online study online materials, as well as the syllabus. So for part 2, so this is what we have, and then later we will send you the guidance. So refers to the study text. It will help you to know the focus in your study. And for part 2 is the modules mostly is trying to reflect we are in an advanced level where more of the governance, where the syllabus and knowledge will be to apply it to a more realistic organization. And that we will send you a pre-release case studies 6 weeks before the examination. So you need to do as usual, very similar to our IQS examinations part A, and then you need to do identify what's the issues, what's gone wrong, or what's been done well, and that if you identify the wrong areas, then how to what are the remedial actions, or that what you will advise to avoid this. You need to analyze the incidents of those scenarios, and that also you need to give a reference to how that this can be applied to organizations. And of course, when we send you the pre-release case, this is the facts of the question for you to understand in an earlier stage. When you set for the examinations, there will be more other facts of the scenarios with comes along with the questions, so that you don't have to pre-do a long reading again. So this is what we are going to do: the risk management, strategic management, as well as the boardroom dynamics, with the pre-release case study sent out 6 weeks before the examinations. And with this, the types of companies or businesses in the case may not be exist in Hong Kong. There will be some scenarios, and that with the company size, backgrounds will vary. Maybe locally incorporated, or a private company, a listed companies, a multinational companies listed in other countries, and etc. But these cases give you a fact, because for the qualification, we need to know well about the local requirements, but we also need to have the international perspective of the governance matters. So again, the structure of part 2, including these 3 subjects: risk management, strategic management, as well as the boardroom dynamics. You will be given a pre-release case with certain facts, and then you have to attend a 3-hour examinations with 4 questions. With section A is based on the pre-release case with 75 marks, and that you have to complete 3 questions out of 4 with 25 marks each. And for section B is not based on the pre-release case. It may be a non-scenario based types of questions, and then with 25 marks, and then you can choose 1 out of 2. And the other electives, the Hong Kong taxation, and then the syllabus content quite similar to IQS, but of course with certain updates. And then I would advise our students who will be taking the Hong Kong taxation, please refer to the past examiners' report, as well as the past papers and suggest answers. But it has been repeatedly reminded in the examiner's report, do not memorize the suggest answers, because each of the questions will have scenarios, and then they will be different. So you need to demonstrate and understand your issues before you can give your answers. And from time to time, students, because they try to remember, they also remember with good memories. They remember the previous year's figures, the tax rates, and etc. Indeed, we provide tax rates and allowance tables in our examination papers. So refers to this, don't memorize. Have to understand and then apply your knowledge. So this is how we work. It will be the similar approach in the past. With section A is a case study with a maximum of 5 compulsory questions with a total of 40 marks. And then for section B, you can select 3 out of 5 questions with 20 marks each. And then if questions with relevance to double tax agreement, it will be provided in the examination paper. So these are for the format and structures, and that you can also refer this from our on our website. About the November 2020 examination, so there are certain key dates. Enrollment is now going on, and we will close the examination enrollment on the 15th of September. So you can enroll online, and everybody, it will give you convenience. And then the other days are for you to keep aware of. So this timetable is also available on our website. As I would like to refer to some of the students are quite concerned, because we are under the pandemic of COVID-19, and then as I've mentioned before, we are under a joint examinations with other international divisions. And that because of that environment, we have reluctantly and regrettably have postponed our June examinations. So for this November examinations, we have been working with a lot of people, and that both the HKICS and the international councils have been asking us to look for contingency plan for the November 2020 examinations, as well as the examinations in future, because this pandemic and that may becomes a new normal, and then we have to change quite a lot of our habits. And because of this, we have been putting close liaison with the local examination authority in Hong Kong, is the HKEAA, which is providing all the examination, invigilation, and supervision services. And also the British Council for our mainland centers as well. And also we also have a lot of discussion with other international divisions. And after doing a number of work, the Council has endorsed the contingency plan in late June, and which include, as we have been in liaison with the HKEAA, and that all the students in Hong Kong is aware that yes, the Hong Kong DSE has been held, and that results is going to release. And that even with other international examinations, the HKEAA has informed us that they've been continuing with organizing these international examinations. And that with this, so we will say that yes, we can continue with this examination in person. That is, we go to the examination center. But what we'll do is that we will follow the HKEAA with all the necessary precautionary measures for the examinations held in person mode. And that we are quite confident because we see that the numbers of cases are dying down, and that a lot of, if all of us is doing the reasonable precautionary measures for our own health, wearing masks and then wash our hands quite frequently, then we think that we will consider that, anticipate that these examinations in November should be all right. But as a precautionary measure, we also explore the backup via an online examination mode. That is, you will answer your question, your exam online, and also do an online proctoring, that is online invigilation. And in that, out of the 9 divisions, other 8 divisions, I think it's 7, is going to do the online examinations. So we are the, I think we have a lot of students, but we are quite bold. Yes, we will continue with the examinations held in exam centers, but we still do the backup as a precautionary contingency plan. But before we do these online examinations, we need to know, we have anticipated, we list out almost like 50 questions to ourselves, asking if this can be done, and then we try to attempt to answer this. But as we want to know better from our students' point of view, so we conduct a survey to obtain our views of students in attending the online examinations. And that then we can finalize with our service providers for this online examinations and online proctoring. And then a lot of demo is being reviewed. And about the student survey, we conclude the online survey for this November examinations as a precautionary plan in late July. And that out of more than 3,300 students, 626 of them provide responses. And that I would like to thank all those students who have given us your responses and let us know more. And we have received 330 written comments from this survey. And I would just like to share with you what other students think of. One of the question is that we also anticipate, because in Hong Kong of the living and the working environment, we may not have a suitable premises or room of your own, which will not be disturbed by a third party and be able to access during the online examinations or the online invigilations. And then we have a split of 50-50, about 50, a equal split of yes and no in this environment. And then we also want to know is that if we want to go for the online examinations, what are the concerns of our students? And then we given out is that for the benefits is that, yes, I can save the traveling time. I can do it at my own premises, or the types that there will be online exams and that I don't have to do handwriting, because from time to time, our students provide feedback, oh, why not we do it online, and that I don't have to write for 3 hours. And then with this benefits, then we can have minimize the risk of this pandemic. And so these are with the positive responses. But however, if when we look into the examinations, whether they said that you will go for online, yes, we have 45% of our students, 223 responses saying, yes, I would like to do it. But some others will say no, some other will be uncertain because maybe they are not too sure how it works. And out of those 330 written comments, mostly which they are more concerned because it will affect them is that health and safety, because it will be on two counts. If I don't have to go outside, then I will be more safe. If I go to the center, is that good enough? I think we are going back to quite normal work environment, and that we must have our life as usual. And then some will concern I'm not used to do on the computer. And then a lot, actually, out of these 330, almost more than 60 comments is that, fairness, how that we can prevent of cheating. And then some of them will say that what types of technical equipment may require for this online exam and tutoring. And certain of them, if they're doing the calculations or formulas for those Hong Kong taxation or the IFAI, am I familiar with this using the Word document or the Excel format? So in that, all your concerns are within our contemplation. And then, so these are all being discussed and reviewed with our potential vendors. So remember, this is just for the backup. And for the physical examinations, then that is very important, is for the health and safety. We have follow up with the HKICS that I'm not going to talk in all the details, but I can tell you that before going to the examination center, all candidates, that is, they have to fill in and complete the declaration on health form. So this is a must. Without this, you cannot enter into the exam center, whether you are in Hong Kong or in the mainland. And then you must wear a surgical mask. And before the examinations, of course, we will provide you have to wear the surgical mask properly, and then we'll provide the alcohol sanitizer gel, and then you rub your hands, and then we'll check your candidate declaration on health form, if not, and then also to take the body temperature. And if you have a fever, we will require you to leave the exam center. Remember, some of you, if unfortunately you have a fever types of symptom, you still want to take the examination because you think that I want to complete earlier. But please, 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 we need to take care of the larger community of other students. So we need to do it, and then you have to consult your doctor promptly. Don't insist of staying there because you are risking, if in such case, we don't want to risk others' health. So this is something as a professional body governance type that we must bear in mind, and this is a good code of conduct. And then for these, then you have to do it. And then during the exam, and then we will have the distance between all the tables, and so with the seats, so we'll ensure and follow with the HKICS requirements, because they are the examination authority in Hong Kong. And other points to note is that if you have a fever or you have to travel somewhere else, you must ensure that the 14 days compulsory quarantine, and that we will send all these details after the close of examinations and remind students of all these. So there may be other policies I would like to remind you that because of the postponements. And then if you cannot attend these examinations due to your reasons, you can postpone it because only of illness. But you say, I'm too busy, I have to travel, I'm sorry that we cannot allow you to postpone. And that the institute will make a final decision. And then you have to pay a postponement fees of 850 for this financial year. That is for this November, and for the next June diet will be on the same rate. And all the examinations, once you have the examination results, then you may apply for review if you are not satisfied with it, but you have to pay for your application fees and within 10 working days of receiving the results. And for all students, you must settle all your fees. So please be reminded, because your studentship renewal is according to the calendar month for 12 months to next year. So during this application time or before the examinations, when we send the admission slips to you, you may still be in the middle of a renewal. I will advise you to renew your studentship earlier, because if you don't settle your fees, even we may not allow you, we will not send you the admission slip, or that even you take your examinations, we will not send you the examination results. And please be reminded all the communications with our students will be via email and correspondence, and via email mostly, because all the we are almost online, and then each of our students with an online account, and then go to your login area. Okay. So for the above are most of the CGQP examinations, and then the examination formats and all the other resources. So with this, we set the examinations, and then we've been providing lots of learning resource and support to our students. And then from this PowerPoint, you see that a very long list. And most important of all is that for number one, it's a free of charge online study materials for all 8 modules. So it's free of charge if you have not yet, for some of the new students, if you have not yet opened your account, please do check with the Prime Law, and then all the contact details are listed in the list on our website. And then we have the examination technique seminar, because we're held in June, and then we have a video recorded, so you can online do the online subscriptions to Will for any of the modules that you have applied for, and then you have a 1 month reading, so you can take your time. For the third one is about the examination preparatory program organized by the Hong Kong Youth Space, but as the program already commenced in late August. And then you can also refer to the the recorded videos for the free introduction sections of the new model. And that these are all held in March. And on your login area with everybody, you can go to the past questions papers and suggest answers as well. These are all for the previous qualifying scheme, the international qualifying scheme. And then you can also refer to the pilot papers with 7 modules. As I've said before, because Hong Kong taxations, this is only Hong Kong have this module, so we will you can refer to your previous IQS. Some students ask about, because of this new CGQP, should I refer to the IQS examination papers? I think yes, because as I mentioned before, when you study this, you look into the subject matter, how they present, and then you can identify what are the issues of the questions, and then how they present the answers. And then you can do your own test if there are changes in laws, code, rules, and regulations. So you can do all your own mock or your assessment. So these are always helpful, in particular, the examiner's reports. And then for the others that we, as a professional bodies, we have a lot of publications, research reports, guidance notes. So refers to our monthly journal, CSJ, and the e-update. This is to give you the news. And we have been doing a lot of research reports and guidance notes. So as I know that quite a number of our students are working in the secretarial compliance and governance areas. All these are relevant and topical. So it gives you a good perspective of what's the trends of the development. And then with the bulletin boards update, it gives you can have a feel whether there are new rules or regulations are going to enact, or the changes, or the consultation. And then you can prepare well. If there are changes in law, then you can know that you will be expecting that the updates of the questions. And that we have the CPD seminars for our members and graduates, and students can join it at a discounted rate. And there are also certain recorded sessions, and then you can go for the OpenU for the subscriptions. And for item 12, I would say that in particular, this year I have invited one of the law lecturers to give you a comprehensive overview of the Hong Kong company law. You look into it as an alternative introduction to company law, because we can't do it like 13 sections of 36 hours. But this is a good overview and gives you a broad understanding, and that it divides into sections where you can understand the company law in a better way. So if you have not studied law and then before, and you need to, you may want to study, attend the Hong Kong company law, I will advise you to subscribe this. Already is a video recorded sections. And also we have invited one of our senior members to conduct 2 sections on company secretaryship and compliance for shares and share capital. So part 1, part 2. Part 1 already conducted, and part 2 will be on live soon. But this we will do also the video recorded for our students who may not have time or joined the institute lately that you can register earlier. So we have a lot of these informations for you, providing different kinds of service, and largely quite a number of free, except that about the Hong Kong U space, you have to pay certain fees, about the CPD seminars, and also for these technical workshops and the videos for the technical learning. So all these are just to recap. I would just like to remind you, go to the studentship, and then you can see all your regulations are here. And then take some time to read through. And this is the support and benefits, the learning support sections, that all these will show you online study materials free of charge, new models introduction, and that the learning video subscriptions, and that there's guide for you how to subscribe, and also the technique workshops. All these are for you. And also, I would like to remind you, go to the login area. And with this, students' informations, all your informations are here. And then you can go to this exam paper, IQS or the CGQP. Then you can go for the modules. And our CSJ, and all about the news, and all these are also, in particular, from time to time, have a look of the BBU, like the CR news, or the Inland Revenue Department news, or the HKICS, the government news. And with our publications, look into this, like these are all always current and topical. The guidance notes, like the ethics, bribery, corruptions, company law guidance notes, merger and acquisition guidance, public governance, just to name a few, and the survey. So all the studentships, just have a look, always from time to time, refresh yourself, and then up with these updates. At first, I would like to share with you some tips, but I think it's once you have now prepared your or enrolled your examinations, I would suggest you prepare your study plan, make it as a very standard, and do your self-management, and then get familiar with what I have just mentioned, the online study materials, syllabus, past papers, pilot papers, and then the examiner's report, and then be familiar with each of the modules you are going to attend, the format and structure, and then do some readings online, and then do some pilot papers and do your own drilling. If you have some friends together taking, or in the office taking examinations together, form your own study group. And because with good supports, then you will have the confidence. And you need to stay motivated. So all these are what I've mentioned. Sometimes, because this is, we do it before the COVID-19, we can't have the physical one, but if we have the physical one, meetings on the CPD seminars or the mentorship programs, do join us, and that it will help you to mingle with the practitioners. And finally is that think positively. This is very important because our minds will lead us what to act. So for this final stage, I'll just say a lot of examinations, but we also have events for leisure or some light mood events. We have some, these are the forthcoming events. As I've mentioned, the seminar on shares and share capital, part 2. And then in September, we have the corporate governance paper competition and presentation awards. We have the governance professionals information. If you are a new student, you are not familiar with the institute, I would like to invite you to join us. And then also you can invite your friends who would like to know more about the charter secretaries and charter governance career opportunities. And from 19th to 26th is our CG week. So we have this already upload, and then feel free and then check out and then join us with all these events. On top of this, though this is the COVID-19, we have more of the webinar, but our membership team is providing a lot of events with soft skills and with some light mood events so that we can relieve ourselves, our tensions during this COVID-19. I would also like to remind you the Institute is because we are a corporate governance body, and then we are leading to it. And we have started a session called the Career in Governance. This is published in our CSJ since June, with the first articles is from our Institute President, Ms. Gillian Miller, and then she will share with you about what governance professionals do. And then with our also Ms. Edith Shi, our past president of the HKICS, as well as the past president of the international body, the CGI. And then we have governance professionals coming forward. And so these articles are worth for our students to read through, and that it allows you to know more about the work, the nature of governance, and that about their career opportunities. So important, communications. How you can communicate and how we communicate with you. We are going to paperless, and that you need to check out with your website, your email, and the inbox on the web page regularly, and that all informations are sent to you via email and put into your inbox. And then with all the events and information, are all stated in our website. And then you just join our Facebook or the LinkedIn. And then for China, that you can do the WeChat or then you can look into more of the institute's update news. So for contact details, you should be familiar with this. And for all those our students in the mainland, then you know where to contact our Beijing office. So this is more or less what I want to share with you, and it's now the Q&A time. So let's see what are the Q&A. So the first one, Mr. Chen, I already answered during my presentation. We do not have the case list for this company law for the CGQP. Yes, for Ms. Yu, the November 2002 examination, as I've presented in my presentation, we will do it as usual in person, a face-to-face mode. It's only in very, I would say that in a rare situation. If you want to know about the CG framework, in that is that you can look into refers to our CG online study materials. It also have the UK practices, and then we have the Hong Kong local adaptation. And by the way, I will just remind you that with this online materials, mainly for a number of the study materials like the corporate governance, boardroom dynamics, strategic management, the IFAI, all these are mainly, as well as the risk management. We base on the UK study materials and then provide the local adaptation with certain local requirements. So you can refer to your online study materials. For Mr. Lai, for the November examinations, that is, we are still go for in person. You don't have to take your examination. You don't have to take your computer. For Mr. Tam, for the pre-release case study is only for part 2. That is for strategic management, boardroom dynamic, and risk management only. Only for these 3 subjects will have the pre-release materials. Then for all the other materials like the company law, company secretarial practice, you won't have received it because as I mentioned that they divide in for those part 1 examinations, mostly is that the first section is 5 questions and then the second section is for the scenario-based or non-scenario-based long questions. For the guidelines of IFA, I will share with you later for Ms. Choi's questions. And for Mr. Chen, yes, of course, if we have the new changes in syllabus or the new law rules and regulations, then we will have a page and then we'll update all students, and then we'll also send emails and as well as update in the news section of on the website, because we just launched it in January. So I don't think that we will have substantial changes. It may be only the Hong Kong laws and rules changes. For the Ms. Yang, I think is that we will have the pilot paper so far, so please refer to the pilot paper. Or if you want to know more, I understand that for the technique workshops, which we have already videoed, with the tutors also have additional questions and papers for sharing with our students. We won't send PPT to students, but what we'll do is that we will publish, because this session is also recorded, we will have the recorded video post onto our website, and then you can refer to it. For Ms. Yip, I already mentioned we will announce the changing of the physical exam to online exam by late October. For Mr. Wu, when are the sessions for Hong Kong company law? I'm not too sure what are you asking for. If you can furnish it with us, you may send the emails to me. For Ms. Bai, when you can enroll the mentorship program, the new mentorship program will be launched. Usually, will be in late September, in the month of October, and then they will pair the mentors and mentees in November with the first meeting in early December. But of course, this year, because of the COVID-19, we may have it online, but stay tuned with all the emails and notices from the institutes like the CSJ or the e-update or the news sections and the event sections on the website. About Mr. Lam's questions, for the Hong Kong papers, all the markers and examiners are in Hong Kong, and we apply the Hong Kong rules and regulations, so you don't have to worry. Ms. Lice, the same, yes, there will be some modeling of the UK questions, but we do it local adaptations with the local rules and requirements as a base. And then we also may need to apply some international perspective. So follows the online materials, and then you will see that there are a lot of Hong Kong updates. About Mr. Lamb's, about your questions, whether it should be Hong Kong based or by international will, I think we should have the Hong Kong based because this is the fundamental, but you can have a better practice or a better, because rules and regulations are the minimum requirements and that every organization can do better. And so that's why we can have the international perspectives. That is in particular like the corporate governance, or the risk management, or the boardroom dynamics, or even the strategic management. But for like Hong Kong company law, the company secretarial practice and compliance, it will be largely Hong Kong based. For the presentation materials, as I've said, we won't send the PowerPoint, but we will do the video. We need to do some post editing. And for the Hong Kong IFAI guide, we will send ASAP because we need to do some furnishing on it. So in particular, any of the students who have enrolled to these papers will send to them. And then also we will put online and then under our syllabus part. Yes, if there's a backup online exam occurs, we will have an online demo for all students to have a flavor of how it works. As mentioned earlier, it will be in early December. For Mr. Fong, we already mentioned, maybe you come in late, the November examination is in physical form, in person. It's only if we cannot do it and we'll announce it in October, then we will tell all students who have enrolled into it as an online mode. But at the moment, I'm quite confident that we can go for physical. For the mentorship, yes, students can enroll, but as I've said, the new mentorship program for next year will, and the enrollment time is in October, so stay tuned. For about the transparency and fairness, because we're doing the 360-degree the proctoring, and that about this is more of the concern of the international body, and that the international body is also putting out the guidelines and the policies for this online examination. So we will update all students with this. For Miss Koo, if you have for the suggest answers on the past papers, it's only if you find it is error in law. Otherwise, you need to do your self-study, or that I will advise if they are certain that you may need to refer to your online study materials or go for the Hong Kong U Space the preparatory courses. Yes, for the examination technique workshops, is a video recorded one for the April's workshops. The CGQP exams, where Mr. Mao asked about whether it's the same as other countries, I would say yes and no, because we have a lot of local adaptation, because there are certain differences in our rules and regulations, and that the examinations, the tuning, and that the applications will be different. So I will advise you to refer to our online study materials. For Ms. She, if you ask about the papers, I think I would advise you to go online and with your login area, and then all students have a login area. Go to the section of the subjects, and then you will find what you have passed or exempted in the IQS, the former qualifying scheme, and what are the outstanding subjects. So everybody can check yourself on your status. About the cash flow consolidation statement, about the IFAI, there will be some differences, but you better refer to the study outline for all the cases and also the pilot papers. There will be some quite different from what we have been doing in the IQS. For CG, it will be different because we don't have that long case, so the CG papers will be different. I would advise Ms. Xu to look into the pilot papers. It will give you an overview. Mr. Tam, you asked about the question. When you for November, at the moment, we still go for the in-person. That is, you have to go to an exam center to sit for your exam. It's only, I think, it's the Hong Kong SAR government said that we have to stay at home. Otherwise, I don't think that we will need to go for the online exam. But from the institute perspective, we'll still prepare for the worst. For Ms. Ko, you will please have a look of the study materials as well as the syllabus. It shows you what are the percentage of the financial accounting and the financial management weighting. For Ms. Deng, for mentorship program, you can go to the membership section. It will just pair with the senior members, with the junior member and all students, that they will have like a coach, or that with a sharing with experience, life experience, not the work. And then the mentors won't teach you how to do your work. And for a lot of students would like to know about the mentorship program, we will send the path of the mentorship programs who ask for it. But for the registration or the enrollment, it will be in October. And for Ms. Zhu, it's not just in UK. We have a lot of the updates and local adaptation for Hong Kong. So you have to read the relevant part. As I've said about the Hong Kong company law, I would say if you are doing your day-to-day work, some of those sessions will get familiar with you, but you cannot remember the exact section number. You can just explain and write in your words where you can understand to explain the case. We won't provide a marking scheme for each point because it is not a points-taking examinations. We need to look into how you present yourself and then to illustrate your analytical, your organizing, and also how you evaluate the situation. So for the calculations, we need to do a bit of the calculation, but it will be less than in what you have used to do. But there are certain, I can't tell you what we'll be doing because I will send you the guidelines for IFAI. From Mother, you asked about the pre-release case. First of all, for those three subjects, strategic management, ballroom dynamics, as well as risk management, of course, we expect you have a good groundwork, understanding, and then you can know more how to put these into practice. I think this is a level 2, a part 2 paper in a more advanced level. And then for the pre-release case is to provide you with certain facts of this case. And then we want to you to can comprehend and anticipate what will be what you think the issues or the wrongdoing or the gray areas, and then you can contemplate or anticipate what may be the issues. But you need to have this with your support, with your knowledge. And then at the examination, the pre-release case will be still printed in your question paper, and then there will be maybe more facts to go along with the question, so that the basic facts you don't have to remember to read again. You will have some idea, and then to apply to the issues of the additional facts given to you. So this is what we do. Oh, about Ms. Zhang, I think we already informed all our students in the mainland that if you are living, you can have a third choice, because in the mainland we have Beijing, Shanghai, because we are doing online, and then this is set up before we can have the Guangzhou Center. Already we have liaised with the British Council in Guangzhou. We'll have a center in Guangzhou, but if you want to take the examination in Guangzhou, you still take with the Shanghai Center. After your enrollment, then you send us an email saying that you have registered and enrolled into the Shanghai Center, but you would like to change to Guangzhou, then we will work it out for you. So I think I have answered more or less the questions or the Q&A. I hope that I will give you a better idea of the CGQP examinations, the syllabus, the learning, as well as the precautionary measures, and also the contingency plan for in case we can't do it for the physical one in November. So I would like to address one more. For November examinations, we still go for the physical in-person mode. That is, you have to go to the examination center. So if there are any of the issues or any unpredictable events happened, we will try to update all our students ASAP. So indeed, I think I have answered 49 questions tonight. And thank you for all your participation and your patience in hearing me. And then I hope that I'll have a chance to meeting you all physically, and then stay healthy, and that prepare your good learning plan and prepare well for your November examination. And good luck to you all. I would like to say good night as well. So good night and see you soon. Bye-bye.